Hi there, I'm Moses. You might know me from some pretty big stories. But let me tell you about how it all started. Long ago in Egypt, my people, the Hebrews, were having a tough time. We were forced to work as slaves, building grand monuments for the Pharaoh. The Pharaoh wasn't exactly friendly. You see, Pharaoh was worried there were too many of us. He thought we might side with Egypt's enemies. Our lives were filled with hard labor and constant fear. Every day was a struggle to survive. So he made a terrible decision. He ordered that all Hebrew baby boys should be, well, let's just say it wasn't good. It was into this scary world that I was born. Talk about timing, right? My parents, Amram and Jochebed, they were so happy to have me, but also terrified. They knew they had to do something to keep me safe, no matter the cost. For 3 whole months, they managed to keep me hidden. Can you imagine how quiet I had to be? But babies grow, and I was no exception. Soon, it became impossible to keep me a secret. My mother knew she had to make a difficult choice. She decided to take a leap of faith. That's when my mom, bless her heart, she knew she had to do something drastic to keep me safe. So she came up with a plan. A pretty wild plan, if you ask me. I can only imagine how hard it must have been for her, knowing what she had to do. She got a basket. Yeah, you heard that right. A basket. But not just any basket. She waterproofed it with tar and pitch. Pretty clever, huh? Then she lined it with soft blankets. I bet it was cozy, even if it was a bit unusual. And then, would you believe it, she set me afloat on the Great Nile River? Now I know what you're thinking. Moses, that's crazy! And you'd be right. But Mom wasn't just going to let me float away. She had my sister Miriam follow along the riverbank. Now picture this, a tiny basket bobbing along the Nile. Inside, a baby, that's me, probably wondering what's going on. The Nile wasn't exactly a calm stream. There were crocodiles, hippopotamuses, and all sorts of dangers, but somehow that little basket kept me safe. It was like it had a mind of its own, dodging every obstacle. As I floated along, the strangest thing happened. Animals started to notice me. A curious ibis peered into my basket. A helpful turtle nudged me away from some reeds. It was like the whole river was conspiring to keep me safe. Even a family of ducks decided to escort me, like I was part of their odd, feathery parade. But here's where it gets really interesting. The Pharaoh's daughter, she was down by the river that day. Can you imagine? Of all the people who could have found me, it was her. She reaches out, pulls it in, and there I am. A tiny baby, probably looking pretty confused. Now, here's the kicker. Instead of turning me in, she decides to keep me. But there was a problem. She didn't know how to take care of a baby. That's where my clever sister Miriam came in. Miriam, who had been watching this whole time, steps up and offers to find a Hebrew woman to nurse the baby. And guess who she brings? My own mother. Talk about a plot twist. So my mom got to take care of me after all, and even got paid for it. Pretty neat, huh? Just like that, I went from a baby in a basket to a prince in a palace. Talk about a change of scenery. I had the best of both worlds, my Hebrew heritage and an Egyptian upbringing. And that, my friends, is how my incredible journey began.